for us in our family, real estate runs in our bloods. हम बचपन से वही सुनते आ रहे. So it was never that we were forced into getting into real estate. It was our choice that we wanted, by choice that we chose that yes, real estate is our passion and we want to get into it.
As people, we are very collaborative by nature, so we all believe in teamwork and utilizing each other's strengths, and at the same time we are very much accountable and adaptable. So these are some core values.
We work in a collaborative way in such a way that all three our KPIs are defined, our roles are defined. So that this flexibility and the accountability aspect of it, and not overstepping each other's boundaries, because if I am also looking into sales, he is also looking into sales, and we are locking horns against each other. But we strategize start of the year. Every month we have a review meetings. Every quarter we kind of relook at the entire strategy and where we are headed and what path we are taking, like initially what we had decided and where we are today, and then we realign it to the situation. So the communication gap is zero. Communication is the key for everything. Like if that's something that can make you, or that's something that can break you.
So in the room, we always have one chair which is empty, and we always. So the point of that is we say कि ये customer का chair.
Our dad has been from the very beginning, be it a peon or be it the topmost person in the organization, he's been having this connect with every person in the organization, open door policy. Anybody from any department, anybody can come and just discuss whatever it be, it personal, be it work wise. I'll be very honest that we've had a lot of heated discussions. ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है हमारे board discussion में कि हमारा कुछ गर्मा-गर्मी नहीं हुआ.
Yeah.
But it is only momentarily to that moment and only to that particular aspect. Within the four of us, interestingly, मतलब ये बोलते हैं ना कि मन में एक है, दिल में एक है और बोलते एक है. ये हमारा aligned है तीनों. And I will be very, very happy to share this, that we have just been, in March of 2025, we were accredited as the great place to work. So मैं 99 बोल के 100 दूंगा, people will be happy. मैं 100 बोल के 100 दूंगा, that was expected. तो मैं 99 बोल कर अगर 101 देता हूँ तो that will be over delivering. So that is something that is we focus on. So as a company, we have taken a green pledge that every project that we develop is going to be green certified. Only Sunday is one day that we get to recoup, and also in that, if something urgently calls up, then we have to be present for that as well.
For me, it's the other way around.
Okay.
For me, Friday I'm getting up for the weekend since I look after sales. So weekends are the most important days of the week for us.
Hello, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you for having us here. It is our pleasure.
Yeah. So you are Mohit.
Correct.
And you are
Prerit. Yeah.
Nice to meet you again. So how does Friday look for you? Like generally, is it like the other days of the week, or it slows down on Friday?
No, it is absolutely like any other day of the week. In fact, today morning I was on site, then had some meeting with the architect. So it is like any other normal day. Like how a Monday is like how a Friday is, and in fact how a Saturday also is. Only Sunday is one day that we get to recoup, and also in that, if something urgently calls up, then we have to be present for that as well.
Hearing that, thank you so much once again for coming here and giving us your valuable time.
For me, it's the other way around.
Okay.
For me, Friday I'm getting up for the weekend since I look after sales. So weekends are the most important days of the week for us. So it's exactly the opposite for me compared to him. Friday is one of the busiest days of the week for me.
Lovely. Okay, so let's start from your academic background. I know that Mohit, you've done engineering,
right,
and then you've studied business.
Correct.
So I have questions for both, and you've done business management.
Yeah.
The question that I have for you is, how do you look at situations or things in this business? Do you look it from a very technical angle or more from a business angle?
So when I started off, in the initial formative years, I would say in business, because I came from a technical background, so I used to think more technical, and the holistic picture was kind of getting missed. But then now, like now after almost 17, 18 years of being into work, of course now I've realized that the entire aspect of it is not just one. There are multiple pieces of puzzle that you have to arrange in a proper way so that you get the entire picture together. So yes, now with my engineering background helped me understand the technical side of it, the construction aspect of it, and my masters that I did in marketing, that helped me in the other business side, especially sales, because construction and sales are one of the, like, they're two pillars into real estate. So that gave you a good insight on both these fronts.
Do you think that does this also mean that a person who doesn't have a background in business or real estate either, how is it for him? Do
My
you
dad
think
had
what?
zero background in real estate. He
But the struggles are more, is it?
it's see, one project you do and you are like a PhD holder in any aspect of real estate.
Okay.
So you just need to persevere for one project,
Okay.
and be involved is, like, in every aspect of the development of the project, right from land acquisition to design to getting sanctions to construction to sales and to handover to customers, the possession part of it. Once you've done one cycle of it, then I think you are pretty much a developer in every aspect of it.
So
So
I think, yeah.
so most developers in Pune, I mean, be it my family, and they don't come from a real estate background. They don't even, yeah, so they just happen to become a developer, and so it is really not like a technical requirement, or there is an entry barrier that if you're a civil engineer or an architect, then only you can get into development. There is no entry barrier to real estate.
Wow, I'm sure people who are hearing this would like to know that you can enter real estate in spite of not having background in it.
Absolutely.
And okay, and I would like to ask you. So you did business management. Tell me something. What did the family business teach you? What the academic did not?
So since
एक पॉइंट आता है ना, कभी लगता है अरे क्या पढ़ के फायदा, यहाँ तो this is what it is, this is real, this is different, ऐसे कभी?
And see, a lot of times while studying also we always heard that what you learn on the job you don't learn in theory, in sitting in classrooms. But one major thing which I learned after joining business was, since this was a family business started by dad and we are all second generation developers, working in sync together was a very big learning on how we manage each other's shortcomings and strengths, how I can play on his strength and vice versa, and that was a very big learning for me. And yeah.
Can you both say, so basically it is easier to enter real estate but it's difficult to survive here?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Tell me, each one of you, can you tell me one biggest struggle that you faced here in your past experience? How many years it has been for both of you to
So for me, I
start
started
work?
in 2008.
2008.
Yeah, so this is the 17th
Almost.
year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for you,
For me,
Prerit?
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Lovely. So yeah, please tell me about your struggles. One big
So
struggle at least.
struggle, I I mean, there are multiple facets. So I wouldn't say, like, that we've struggled in any particular aspect of it, but as much as you can in every facet of real estate, you can go to any depth that you want. So it is totally up to you that how much you are inquisitive to know more about, if it is sales or if it is marketing, if it is design, if it is customer experience, if it is construction, the way you construct, the technical aspects of it. So the deeper you go, the designing of the product becomes much better. So I think somebody who's not, who, like, so if you go in depth, you will get a better output. And if you are just like superficially ऊपरा ऊपरी अगर हम देखते हैं, तो you don't know what surprises that come. So that adds to the struggle of the entire process. Otherwise, if you are clear, and if you are very clear, or like you set processes in a way that every aspect of it is taken care of in a more organized way, then I think there are no surprises in the development that comes. Hence, then there is no struggle in the development that comes.
It's amazing that in past 20 or whatever 18 years you think that there has not been a big struggle. I think it's because of the passion that you work with, because I think when you like your work, then you don't feel it's difficult, it's struggling, it's
Yeah, of course. I mean, because the end of the day, I am getting up every day in the morning, and 365 days that we are working. So you need to really fall in love with this work that you're doing, right? Otherwise, you'll not be able to excel. You'll be only complaining. But then if you love the work that you do and you know that this is this is my best that I can do, and then eventually I see that there is still scope of improvement. So that hungerness, that eagerness is always there to keep bettering from what I did before. So that drives me in a way that I don't feel that there is any struggle in it. I just only see opportunities and ways to get better in at every day, on an everyday level, literally speaking.
I really like the way you've put it that सिर्फ पैशन नहीं है इसलिए अच्छा लगता है लेकिन और इम्प्रूव हो सकते हैं इसीलिए भी और अच्छा लगता है. This is a very different way to look at it.
You need that
Amazing.
hunger. You need that hunger to grow.
Nice. Yeah, tell me about you. 2020.
So
So
I
very
joined,
different
yeah,
times to enter.
a different time post COVID, as
Correct.
we have all seen. So for me, my biggest, I wouldn't say struggle, but a challenge was to first understand the evolving nature of the business, and at the same time trying to figure out how we can do something where we get the first mover advantage and staying ahead of the curve. So that was my biggest challenge, because in a market which is ever evolving, everybody's trying to do something new with new technologies coming in, the AI coming in now. So we always tried to figure out what is next and how can we get there faster. So I think that has been the biggest challenge that I have faced so far.
Lovely.
In fact, I'll add to this. When I joined, it was Lehman Brothers. The entire world has crashed because 2008 was the so we joined with the similar times. Yeah. So 2008 is the time when that Lehman Brothers crash happened, and the entire industry was in turmoil, and not just real estate. I mean, the entire world was in turmoil. The entire financial situation was very bad. So that was the time I entered into real estate. So hoping, and before that it was like it was a good going, and it was in a growth trajectory, and suddenly this happened and everything fell flat. And then that is the time I entered into market, entered into the struggling phase of real estate. But and we had at least 5 or 6 projects going on at that time, and they were at multiple stages. Like some were in planning stage, some were already in execution, some were near completion. So and of course there was a lot of unsold inventory post this, because there was sudden cash crunch in the market. So that was the time that I came in. But I feel that that was like a blessing in disguise for me, because क्या होता मतलब मेरा thought है ऐसा, I don't know if I may be correct or wrong, but then if I would have come into the sunny days of real estate, so probably I would have not gone into the details of most aspects of real estate, because I came in at the time wherein it was like a rainy day. It was like a heyday for real estate that time, that period. So that kind of gave me time, and also helped me focus into more other aspects of from envisioning a project to getting into fruition. So that is like at one side I feel that I came in मंदी के time पे entry हुआ, and उसके बाद मैं बहुत time तक मंदी देखा, फिर थोड़ी तेजी आई, फिर मंदी आई, and now post COVID things have changed. But so it is like a blessing also. I would feel that ठीक है जो भी timing हुआ, but it was good. It made me what I am today.
But tell me one thing. So when you say you entered at difficult times, 2008, so you've entered. So कभी ऐसे नहीं लगा कि अरे I don't think this is like I should get into this. I should think of some other options. I should step back. What kept you
So
going basically?
2008 was actual formal entry, formally because that my education was complete by then, and then I had only one thing to do, was to work. But I was always part of the development. See, for us in our family, real estate runs in our bloods. So our dinner table talks, our breakfast talks is always revolving around real estate. ये हम बचपन से सुनते आए, like for both of us and my in our entire family, हम बचपन से वही सुनते आ रहे. So it was never that that we were forced into getting into real estate. It was our choice that we wanted, by choice that we chose that yes, real estate is our passion and we want to get into it. So for me, even when I was studying engineering, so planning aspect of the project has always been very intriguing for me. So so whenever there used to be a meeting with the architect for the design and development of a new project, so I used to make sure that I take that much leave from the college and I attend these meetings with my dad and other consultants, so that I start getting hang of what things are, and that was always like an intriguing factor for me, planning aspect of it. So my journey started much earlier, but formal entry was in 2008. So and it was always like willingly that this has come to us.
So there was no ever pressure from the family that you have to continue your family business. I'd like to know this from Prerit because you joined in 2020. So ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ इनसे सुन के कि
See,
I think
I'm the youngest of the sons. So I never had that pressure because he had already entered. Both my brothers had started working. So my dad. So generally, father would want that his sons are coming in the business or their daughters are coming in the business to add some support. So he had already received that support from two older brothers of mine. So I never really had that pressure. Rather, dad would push me to do something on my own, and try and see how things work when you try to start something on your own. What are the struggles that you need to go through? So he always pushed me for that, which I did, and eventually I joined real estate. But because I feel that that this is my calling, so I really love doing what I do, right? I enjoy working, I enjoy strategizing, so uh, I've really grown to love it now.
Nice. So after you took the, I think, marketing and sales and that part of the business, how do you think the brand Goyal Properties overall has been looked upon differently, or what have you added to it that it is like, kind of people take it differently? Was it same before 2020 or now it's different?
So I would like to believe it is different from the perception that we have become more aggressive in terms of sales, in terms of marketing, in terms of, like I mentioned, my initial challenge was to understand what is happening in the market, what new things are coming up, and how we can be the first mover, which we have already started doing. Very recently, for example, we did a brand campaign which was completely done by AI for the first time in the city. Similarly, now we are involving AI in our day-to-day process at work, in strategizing, in creating things. Overall, as a brand perception, I feel today people look at us and want to know what is the next growth chapter. What is that next new thing that these people are tapping, because there is definitely some potential. And I like to believe that that is how we are perceived now.
So we are seeing the campaign everywhere. I think every other person has seen the hoardings and the idea. Can you please tell me the tagline for the
The city
campaign?
has changed, our values
Values
haven't.
have not. So tell me one thing, the city has changed, the values have not. In what sense? What do you think the city has changed in what sense, and the values in not, in what sense exactly you're talking about?
So the entire idea was, the company was started in 1986, and over the years, with infra, with real estate, we have seen the city change in general. More people are coming in for education, for better job opportunities and lifestyle. And in terms of when we say our values haven't, so our company has a tagline, right? It is Goyal Properties built by values. And this tagline is from 1986. In between, we did have an entire rebranding of the company, but the tagline never changed, because that is something which was very close to our heart. And when I say our values haven't changed, we work towards, we do a lot of our work, we are very proud of what we do, we work with a lot of honesty, right? And as people, we are very collaborative by nature, so we all believe in teamwork and utilizing each other's strengths. And at the same time, we are very much accountable and adaptable. So these are some core values which was, when my dad got into the business, he held these values, and luckily enough, we also received them from him, and that thing has not changed over decades now. So that was the whole gist, that the city has changed, but the company values, the values of the people, they have not.
I'd like to point out here, I have heard this earlier also in other videos, and now also I'm hearing this, that you've been so vocal about saying that everything has been done through AI. So, what honesty you talk about when it comes to your company culture, that I can definitely see, because as I said, people do try to avoid to say that it's AI generated, but you've been so vocal about it. So, it's really amazing of you to be so honest and be so creative on the other hand. Tell me one thing. So, two brothers working in the same business, how does this work? Because sometimes working with family is difficult also, but sometimes it does have great advantages, of course, if you can really manage that. How do you both manage that?
So I would, we are three brothers. I'm the eldest, he's the youngest. We have one in between. His name is Rohit. We work in a collaborative way, in such a way that our all three, for all three, our KPIs are defined. Our roles are defined. Like, if I am, so I am responsible of acquisition of land, I am responsible of legal title, I am responsible of design, and I am responsible of execution of the projects. Prerit is responsible for sales and marketing of the projects, and Rohit, the brother in between, is responsible for the entire finances and cash flow management of the projects. So if you see, these are the various aspects, like, these are the various streams in which real estate is divided in, and we all have a clear path, that clear defined focus area, that this is where I am going to take the lead, and whatever, of course there is discussions happening. We have our strategy meetings internally, internal meetings also every month, every fortnightly we meet, and we discuss whatever is happening and whatever call that we need to take. But ultimately the owner and the accountability of it comes from the person who is driving that aspect. So if I am responsible for acquisition of land, and if I am committed that I am going to give you these many inventory in a year, then it is my responsibility to ensure that that much inventory is added in the overall system. If Prerit has taken a responsibility of this many agreements will be executed, this is the kind of collection we'll be doing in a month, or this is the kind of sales that we'll be doing in a particular month or particular quarter. So he's accountable for that. And then of course, like throughout the year we are reconciling, and we have a lot of internal review meetings happening on a monthly basis. And so the course correction happens immediately. Like we don't have to wait for a quarter for us to realize okay something bad happened, or towards the end of the year realize अरे ये साल में तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं, या ये साल में हमने ये समझा था हुआ ही नहीं. So it is not that towards the end of the year after 12 months we get to know, but we strategize start of the year. Every month we have our review meetings. Every quarter we kind of relook at the entire strategy and where we are headed and what path we have taken, like initially what we had decided and where we are today, and then we realign it to the situations. Maybe the market is some or there is another other situation that must have arisen, so we immediately course correct, and then we know exactly where we are going. So that this flexibility and the accountability aspect of it, and not overstepping each other's boundaries, because if I am also looking into sales, he is also looking into sales, and we are locking horns against each other. So he is responsible for sales, I don't have to, he is accountable for that. So that's the clarity in our own field of work, aspects of work, is what is helping us work together in a lot of cohesion and a lot of smoothness, I would say. And in fact with this we have also combined each other's strengths. Like so somewhere like he initially mentioned that we complement each other also in a lot of these aspects. Somewhere if I may falling short, so he can point it out. Probably मेरे को नहीं दिख रहा है कि this is something that I am lacking at, but the other two, and our dad of course is always is involved in business on a day-to-day basis. He's like a guiding force. He's like our compass, I can say. He's always showing us the true north where it
I was
is.
going
And
to come to your father's role with the brothers.
So he's our moral compass. He's ensuring that whatever we are doing is in line. We are nothing hanky panky is happening, neither in our thought or even अनजाने में भी हम कुछ नहीं ऐसा कर दे रहे, which so because his experience of 40 years and we are fairly recent in the industry, so his vision and his foresight is so much incredible, and that kind of gives us what to do today and how for us to act. So this clarity is something that is helped us work in so much cohesion with each other.
And
Wow.
just to
Yeah,
add
from Prerit,
to that, I would also say that when we are discussing, we genuinely have a very honest, no powder coated, sugar coated sort of a conversation. Either of three of us is always playing the devil's advocate over here, but that honesty and now me being the youngest, so I would always that thought should rather cross my mind that am I speaking crossing the line somewhere. But that comfort I get from my brothers to the extent that I never have to think that, because I know that whenever I'm saying something, they will not listen to the word but the intention. They don't take things to the ego कि तू मुझे ऐसा कैसे बोल सकता है, right? So that is something which really helps us to work as one unit and drive in the same direction.
Lovely. I was just going to ask you, being the younger one, doesn't that ego comes? Like, how do you make sure that the ego is aside? Because होता है ना, हमेशा बड़ों से सीखते रहो.
So like I said, luckily मुझे वो problem कभी face करना ही नहीं पड़ा, because both of them are so open-minded, including dad and my brothers. They are so open-minded that rather they value the suggestions also when I put it forth, right? So it is only encouraging for me to give more of my inputs. And like I said initially, there is no sugar coating. जो जैसा है वो वैसा ही हम लोग बताते हैं. And so there's a very interesting thing that we do. So whenever we have like a high level review, which is quarterly, so in the room we always have one chair which is empty, and we always, so the point of that is we say कि ये customer का chair है. So now in the board, even the customer is part of our discussion, hypothetically, but idea is that we have to think from all aspects when we are discussing a matter. How would we feel if we are on the receiving end of this decision, or how this would plan out for the end user. So yeah, so I think a good clear idea, a good clear path really helps us to bind things together and work as one single team.
One more addition I would want to do in this, that for us, any meeting, like, if we are four of us are sitting for a meeting, we all are treated as equals. It doesn't matter that, some, like, dad is there or I am there, Rohit is there, Prerit is there, but we are treated as equals, so we can share our thoughts in that with that much clarity. I'll be very honest that we've had a lot of heated discussions. ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है हमारे board discussion में कि हमारा कुछ गर्मा गर्मी नहीं हुआ.
Yeah.
But it is only momentarily to that moment and only to that particular aspect. मतलब how can he tell me that it is never, वो room एक बार meeting is done, once we are out of the conference, then that feeling and everything is inside there, finished. Like, when we go out and when we are back at home, it's as if nothing happened. Like, it's nothing that we carry our work home or that feeling home. So that is something which we have all been able to kind of maintain it in a way that we've been blunt with each other. But we've always treated us, dad has always given us the authority that I'm treating all of you as equals. So whatever it is, it has to be whatever is in your mind, say that. तो हम हमारे विद द फोर ऑफ अस इंटरेस्टिंगली, मतलब ये बोलते हैं ना कि मन में एक है, दिल में एक है और बोलते एक है, ये हमारा अलाइंड है तीनों फॉर ऑल फोर ऑफ अस व्हेन वी आर अमंग्स ईच अदर, सो एवरीथिंग इज अलाइंड. सो वी डोंट हैव टू, मतलब कल मैंने क्या बोला आपको ऐसा सोच याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, बिकॉज वी नो एग्जैक्टली, वी हैव दैट क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट अमंग्स्ट अस.
This is rare. This kind of cooperation, it's rare, and huge credit to your father who has structured this in such a great way. It's a great learning for any person, I guess, who is into family business or wants to have family in the business, but keep thinking how will the equations work and how to make it work. I think what you said is what I think a great structure. Then probably not having long communication gap. I
Yeah.
really like that idea. You have to timely be responsible yourself, be accountable, definitely, but still have a word with each other.
One meal a day is fixed. Our lunches at office, four of us together, is fixed. Be it at 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3:30, but it's fixed that we all four do lunch together. So every lunch meeting, you understand that पिछले lunch से अभी के lunch में जो भी हुआ है ना, it's all there. So the communication gap is zero, and apart from that, there is WhatsApp group of amongst us. कुछ urgent रहेगा तो it's posted on that, and it is only the four of us. So communication is the key for everything. Like, if that's something that can make you, or that's something that can break you. And we've learned that now that we've been working so cohesively together, so that if we were not able to communicate with each other timely, then a lot can go wrong, right? So that is the kind of updates that and that is the kind of way we are working right now. So
as I said, definitely for family business people, it's really great learning. But from this conversation, I do understand that basically people are very important for you, because you have been working so cohesively with your earlier generation, and now you guys are working together. Tell me about the team, and I'm sure the culture, you must be carrying that culture in the team also. How do you make sure that the entire team grows with the company?
So I'll take this. So culture is something which is of extreme importance, especially to us, because so typically in any company, right, when people are joining in, so there's always an assumption that performance is key. As long as you're performing, well, nobody can touch you. Don't worry. But for us, that is not the only metrics we look at. We are very particular when it comes to a good work environment, a good work ethics, good culture in the amongst the teams. What we also do is, so we personally try that the people around us are growing. Not just in terms of their sales numbers or their. Everybody has their different metrics or parameters to follow, but it is not just about numbers, but we also try to focus on how that particular individual can grow. So just to give you an example, so throughout the year there are trainings and development events that are happened, which are calendared, planned at the start of the year. Apart from that, what we also do is every individual needs to do a certification course every single year, which will help them in do their work better. That is another thing. Again, part of their.
Understand what kind of certification is this?
Anything which they feel, maybe some Excel training or maybe something related with AI or anything they feel will help them do their work better. That is number one. And now we have also added another parameter is they have to take one target which is like a personal goal, not related to business, not related to work, but a personal goal. For example, somebody might want to learn a new language or learn a new musical instrument or lose some weight. Can be absolutely anything. But again, there is a personal goal which every person in the company has to take and has to follow.
May I understand why have you taken this step? Is it because of the mental health that is getting more attention, or
So
the
see, I
awareness? Yeah.
so in general
How
it
do you
is.
think this impacts the culture of the company? This particular aspect.
So see, when somebody takes a personal goal, they are by default making themselves more disciplined in order to achieve that goal. In the due process of achieving any goal that they set, they become disciplined. They learn to follow a particular routine, right? Which not only helps them professionally but also in their personal life.
The sense of fulfillment, I guess.
100%, because
Is the,
we always talk about personal and work life balance, right? But then how do you gently nudge the person to actually go towards that direction? So I feel that this is a small step in that direction as well, where we are telling them it is like work is not everything. Yes, of course, every work is important, but so is your personal life, and we are always encouraging them to take some new initiatives in this regard as well.
we really want more companies like this, I guess. Generally, work culture is such that you try to deviate people from doing such things because they try to make sure that you put more and more hours into earning, they drain you out completely. But here, you're doing it a very different way, which is very important because I think इससे ज़्यादा काम का quality बढ़ता है और speed भी बढ़ता है
I
when
was
you
just
do
going to
this.
say that efficiency, in fact, improved.
Gets better.
It gets better, and the same in less amount of time, the person is able to do more. So because your mind is getting trained indirectly, with any of these other parameters that he mentioned, the two other parameters that you learn anything that is going to help you in your life and in the work that you're doing, the field of work that you are. Like if you're an accountant, if you're an architect, if you're a lawyer, or whatever, in the entire hierarchy of, I mean, the number of people that we have in the different facets, so every year, if that person is adding one skill to, so it's going to help him more in the longer run. Any person with us is going to be there for a few years, maybe a decade, whatever, what is the longest time, but eventually it's going to help him grow in his life. And I will be very, very happy to share this, that we have just been, I mean, in March of 2025, we were accredited as the Great Place to Work. So this Great Place, I'm sure you must be aware of this, or no? Sorry. Great Place to Work. So Great Place to Work is an international body which assesses your company's culture, ethics, and the way your team. So it is, so जैसे ISO certification है for processes. So GPTW, or Great Place to Work, is a certification of your culture of your company and the team of your company. So they have an entire checklist, and the way, they have their own parameters of how they do this.
And you've got an award.
So it is like how ISO is. Like you have to keep doing it consistently year on year. And we had envisioned this in our board meet in 2022, back in 2022, and we had decided that by 2025 we want to align our company to get accredited as Great Place to Work. And in March 2025 we get this accreditation. So this accreditation is not one time. It is not like any other award that you are getting. It is an accreditation that you have to, if I have to now take it in 2026, I have to again go through the same process. So it is a continuous ongoing process. So we have our culture surveys every quarterly, that we do a culture survey. It's an anonymous survey. There is a set questionnaire, of course, which has been given by Great Place to Work in alignment to their process. And then there are certain additions that we want to get to understand more apart from whatever is happening in that aspect of it. So it's a good 50-60 pointer survey that anonymously you can fill. We don't know if A or B or C, which person has said what, and we keep a track of that score. And what is I think this quarter we were at 92%. 91, 90, close to 92% out of 100. So that is the kind of track that we are keeping on a quarterly basis, just to ensure that everything is in alignment to the culture that we want. And our dad has been very from the very beginning, like, be it a peon or be it the topmost person in the organization, he's been having this connect with every person in the organization, and so that has the
Super
same,
friendly in the
that
company.
same
Yeah.
kind of values,
There's no
has
like boss
trickle
like.
down. No, absolutely not. So it has always been very approachable to any person. Ours is an open door policy. Anybody from any department, anybody can come and just discuss whatever it be, it personal, be it work wise, or be it to gain some knowledge या कुछ क्या बोलते हैं, कुछ insight लेना होगा. You can just come, approach any one of us, and we are always available for our team.
It's a big thing. First of all, huge congratulations to you and your company about winning this award, and it's a totally deserving award. जितना अभी तक सुना है, समझा है, you guys totally deserve this. And definitely, I think it's the culture that has translated from the father to the brothers and then to the team. Let's talk from home buyers' point of view. Uh, I want to hear this from both of you. इतने demands और changes हो रहे हैं. People need such different kind of spaces, and probably it is expected multiple spaces in one space. You know, pet friendly areas, senior friendly areas, or work from office spaces. People want everything at home. They want their private space also, probably hobby wala space भी चाहिए. How do you deal with this?
So we'll answer this
How do
in
you
two
try to
parts.
cater?
We'll answer this in two parts.
Huh.
One aspect I'll take care of it from the design aspect of it and the customer journey over there, and then the other aspect Prerit can take care of where you can talk about here.
Perfect.
So I'll tell you an example of one of the first mover example that we had. Post COVID, we launched our project My Home Kivle. So during COVID times, this was in 2021 we launched the project, and during COVID times we suddenly saw that there is a dearth of, like, everything is work from home now. So that was one of the first where we realized that okay, we need to provide a co-working space within the project and a conference room within the project, so that this is going to facilitate the end user when he is going to come, and because we foresee that this is going to be the culture at least for the in the foreseeable future. So we immediately in our planning, which was almost done, we redid some things, and we incorporated a co-working space, we incorporated a conference room, we even incorporated guest bedrooms, because we realized that एक और चीज़ हमने देखा है कि जब हमारे जो प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं सब जगह पे लॉजिंग फैसिलिटी आसपास होती नहीं है उतनी अच्छी. सो देन इफ़ यू हैव अ गेस्ट इन योर फैमिली, योर फादर वांट्स टू कम एंड स्टे विद यू, और 2-3 डेज़ के लिए कोई आपके फ्रेंड्स या कलीग रिलेटिव्स आने चाहते हैं, वेयर डू दे स्टे? So now we have started also providing guest bedrooms within the projects, which they can utilize. We hand it over to the society, and I think nowadays they charge a nominal amount just for the upkeep of the room, so that it is not misused by any person. But so that we started giving.
From the home buyer point of view, but tell me your experience. How are you?
So what essentially happens, the product has not changed, but the way you perceive the product has changed, right? So similarly, what we started doing, we with the agenda and the aim that we want the customer to feel as happy, if not more, how happy he was when he made the buying decision. He's equally happy when he's seeing the house for the first time, right? We introduced a new team within the company called Hey, which stands for HEY, Home Experience and You. So the agenda is that now before the customer sees his apartment, we do internal checks. In the apartment, we have an exhaustive 85-point list, which the Hey team looks, does the snagging, then the engineering team comes in, corrects all the points that were raised. After that, we do a second round of checking as well if by chance anything is missed out. And once we as a team are satisfied that okay, now this is good enough for the customer to see, because he's like, customer is king, right? So for him everything has to be spick and span. And then when the customer comes in, and then when he and I've personally seen this where customers are taking possession of their apartment when they see the apartment for the first time. I've seen them cry out of joy, and I don't think of a feeling better than that is something which I can even hope for. That is like the biggest compliment I can receive, and it's really humbling at the same time, because it is exactly why we created Hey, to smoothen out the experience of the customer. And a very important thing that we started doing is we also realized that in Pune most of the customers who are buying are first time home buyers, so they do not necessarily know how to run a society, right? After possession, to upkeep the amenities, the services. So what in under Hey, what we also do is after possession, for the first 4 to 6 months, every month we have a small event on site which is only for the residents of the society, and each event picks up one topic, such as one event will talk about how to run the STP of the project, how to maintain the STP of the project. Another topic will be how the fire system works, and then maybe how to select a housekeeping agency, and so on. So we actually try and educate the customers in the process of how you can maintain your society better, because you have to spend your life over here, at least for a couple of decades. So, because it is built for generations, homes in general are built for generations, not for a couple of years.
So there's a lot you have to do even after delivering a project, is it? You take care of the life.
We kind of handhold them in a way that we make them aware how a firefighting system works, how a water treatment plant works, how an STP works. Because as a layman, you wouldn't know. I mean, it's a very technical thing. So you wouldn't know what to do. In case of fire, what happens? So we actually show them the entire demo. We do a proper fire drill on site, explaining them that this is how the entire fire system should work. If there a lift which is provided, it is provided with the rescue devices. Intentionally, we will turn off the light and show them that the lift goes to the immediate next floor, and you don't need to panic when you are inside the lift. So these are practical things that we do with them on a periodic basis, so that they become comfortable with everything that is provided, and they don't panic, and there is no chaos which is created suddenly out of nowhere. So these are small things that kind of which resonates with them, which they wouldn't do normally. They wouldn't know normally. किसको पता होगा? मेरे को भी नहीं बहुत टाइम तक पता था STP कैसे चलता है. Till the time I started designing them, but so this is how that differentiator is what is coming up. And when we had envisioned it, when he said that the snagging used to be, there used to be a huge list of snags that were there by the customer's perspective, from point of view. But now when the Hey team is looking into an apartment, they behave like a customer. And he's a customer who is looking into the apartment, and this checklist, and this same checklist is again given to the customer before possession. So after the snagging is done, after everything is done, after Hey team is satisfied, they will again a fresh 85 point checklist will go to the customer. We'll tell them to inspect it all over again. If something we must have missed, our team must have missed, because our team, being our team, they have to go in through hundreds of apartments. कस्टमर अगर जो ले रहा है उसको तो एक अपना ही घर देखना है, उसको 100 घर नहीं देखने हैं, करेक्ट. तो कुछ चीज़ें हमारी टीम से एक आधी बार है भी जा सकती है, तो हम उनको फिर से 85 पॉइंट्स देते हैं, आप फिर से चेक कीजिए. एंड नाउ वी हैव सीन दैट barely 2-3 ऑफ देम आर देन स्टिल रिमेनिंग, मे बी मोस्टली रिलेटेड टू क्लीनिंग, और इधर कुछ ये रह गया, उधर कुछ वो रह गया. सो बेसिकली द आइडिया इज लाइक व्हाट ही सेड दैट in our board meets we have one chair for customer, which is an empty chair for customer. So ये thought उधर से जैसे हमारा develop होते गया, as and when he was not like it has taken us 2.5 years now to finally we know कि this process that we had set, इसके अंदर भी trial and error करते गए. अब जाके हमको ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये थोड़ा सही तरीके से बैठा है. we've also done is we've tied up with MyGate for all the ticketing. So once he comes to stay, once the customer comes to stay, takes possession, so everything he has to, whatever issues he has in an apartment, he has to raise a ticket. And our team has उनको mandate है कि within 24 hours they have to visit it, and within I think 2 or 3 days के अंदर उसको resolve भी करके देना है. So वो ticketing भी हमने देखा है, and we have internal KPI उनका ऐसा है कि less than 1% should be open tickets every month. So if there are 100 tickets which have been raised in a month, only 1 can be open, 99 has to be resolved. So that is the KPI of the Hey team, the members of the Hey team. So we are trying to ensure that right from the even in the design stage, execution stage, that ये issues आने ही नहीं चाहिए. Why these issues should come? Any issue should come. But still, because there are multiple people involved in the life cycle of a project, in the development of the project, and laborers बोलो, contractors बोलो, there are n number of people involved. So there might be a possibility कि किधर कुछ चीज़ें रह जाता है human error के कारण, oversight के कारण, but at least we fix it in due time.
Lovely. So this is regarding the home buyers. I want to understand from the construction point of view, also from the product point of view. So that also I read that you've received a great amount of certifications, the gold certifications also, which is quite difficult to get, and the other one is platinum. Can you help me understand the certification and exactly how your company?
Indian Green Building Council, its short form is IGBC. So IGBC is an accrediting body in India which does green certification basically for any product, any service, your interior of the office, the building, construction buildings. So everything is certified. They have set a charter, and then you have to apply, and then they have certain credit scores that you get out of what all activities you are going to do in the project. So there are two stages of it. One is called a pre-certification. Pre-certification is design stage, that this is our intent to do, and when we show our intent, when we show our details, when we show our submit our drawings, then when they assess it, and then they tell you whether these many points you are going to score. So it's a 100 points का list होता है. Anything above 80 is platinum certified, between 70 and 80 is gold certified, and I think 60 to 70 is silver. So they give you point systems. It is purely up to them of how it is, and there is no influence that can happen over there. It's a non-governmental body. It's not even a government body. It's a non-governmental body, and it is formed by CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. CII it's an industry body जिसने IGBC का फॉर्मुलेशन किया है, एंड उसके अंदर उसके चार्टर के थ्रू ये सर्टिफिकेशन होता है. सो एज अ एनी डेवलपमेंट दैट हैपेंस, यू फर्स्ट हैव टू गेट इट प्री सर्टिफाइड, and then you have to construct the project. Every 6 months we have to submit reports over there of development of the project, and when you complete the project then they come for final certification. So जो हमारा design intent था versus हमने जो execute किया है, are there in sync? उसमें डिस्क्रिपेंसी रहेगी तो पॉइंट्स कटेंगे, उसमें बेटर होगा तो पॉइंट ज़्यादा मिलेंगे. सो इवेंचुअली when they check the project post completion, then you get the final certification. So I'll be very happy to share that for 2 of our projects we have got platinum certification. So which is the highest green building rating for any residential project one can get in India. So 2 of our projects, My Home Kivle, and very recently just last month we got My Home Punavle. And for both of these projects we were given the Green Champion Award. There is a big conference that happens once in a year conducted by IGBC, where in IGBC all over India people come. There are green products which are on display. There is a proper display exhibition that is there. There are conferences, there are learning sessions which are happening. So it's a huge event. 8 to 10,000 people attend it over 3 days. So as a company we have taken a green pledge that every project that we develop is going to be green certified. And currently all our projects are either platinum or gold pre-certified, and now 2 of our projects are final certification also post.
Question I wanted to ask you, because probably you are dealing more with the home buyers and all, that ये construction side से हो गया sustainability, but how does it affect a resident's life, like everyday life?
So number one, the overall, the water bill of the society is reduced. The electricity bill comes less. They get a discount on property tax. They get a lower interest rate on home loan, and overall their maintenance cost also reduces. So, but the thing is that I think this is today the customer is on a learning curve where they're just getting, the awareness is just getting out there. Not everyone is aware of how this actually ends up benefiting them in the long run. It will take some time to, for the market to mature, maybe to understand the benefit of it. But at the same time, it is genuinely very useful, be it monetary wise, and also because a certain level of natural light and ventilation and open air, open space is required. It also helps them to develop better as humans, in a better environment to stay in. You would always want to live in a place where you have a lot of natural light. So it has those other benefits, the psychological, physiological benefits as well.
Lastly, I would like to know, as I understand, as you are putting it forward, the image of your company. So it's a very value-driven company, that's for sure. So tell me, what is something that is completely non-negotiable for Goyal Properties? Something that you won't compromise on, no matter what?
For me, it would be honesty.
Okay.
Yeah, that is something that's non-negotiable.
Okay.
So my dad always says that under commit, over deliver. Under commit, over deliver. So मैं 99 बोल के 100 दूंगा, people will be happy. मैं 100 बोल के 100 दूंगा, that was expected. पर मैं 99 बोलकर अगर 101 देता हूँ तो that will be over delivering. So that is something that is we focus on and try to ensure that we always go with it.
Lovely. Last thing, on your website, I read, the path that shaped us for the past 3 decades, it is now your foundation for a life. So it's a very meaningful thing you've said. Now tell me, what is that one core foundation which you've built from past 30 years and that you're going to consciously carry forward?
So we already discussed, I think, touched upon the core values of. So it's absolutely that. So like my dad always has very sound financial principles. We don't do anything hanky panky, we don't intend to do anything hanky panky. And like वो एक कहावत है ना कि चद्दर उतनी पैर फैलाओ. So he's always a true believer of that. Like we've seen in real estate there is a very high possibility of people going out of their way and acquiring newer projects, and that भर भर के loan ले लिया है. And then we've seen so many cases in NCLT and bankruptcies that people have faced. And so that is something we have been very financially disciplined, and we are razor focused on that. We don't engage into something which we know we cannot fulfill. No promises that we can fulfill we won't do. So we take on only projects when we know okay from every aspect साम दाम दंड भेद बोलते हैं ना, वो करके इसको पूरा कर सकते हैं तभी हम कोई प्रोजेक्ट में एंटर करेंगे, and then that decision will be taken. So I think that is one of the reasons why abhi since 1986 till 2025, in the last 39-40 years, we have seen so many ups and downs in real estate, and really it has not weathered us in any way.
Lovely.
Yeah, we have been very adaptable.
So thank you for being here once again. Thank you for all the insightful details that you've given, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation too.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure being over here, and thank you for inviting us and letting us talk.
Most welcome.
And also, like I want to just add that when you ask these questions, it kind of helps us think about our belief systems and values, and it again fortifies within us. Like so such conversations are very good that we kind of it re-energizes us. So thank you for having us here. Yeah, self-motivating and somewhere pat on the back.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.